Beneath the silent heavens, where winds carry whispers of power and betrayal, the path of cultivation grows ever more treacherous. In a world where strength defines fate, one young warrior stands at the edge of destiny, his spirit unyielding against forces that seek to crush him. In the previous chapters, shadows of conflict began to stir. Trials tested both will and talent. While hidden tensions within the sect revealed that not all battles are fought in the open, allies remain uncertain, enemies lurk behind smiles, and the line between honor and survival begins to blur. Now, in recap, Martial God Asura Chapter 3, Chapter 4, the storm deepens. As challenges intensify and secrets begin to surface, every step forward may lead closer to greatness. Or ruin. What choices will shape the path ahead, and who will stand when the dust finally settles? The legend continues. Step carefully, for the next chapter unfolds. Before the first step was even taken, desire had already ignited into madness. What was the reward? That single question spread like wildfire through the crowd, stirring restless hearts and greedy eyes. Whispers rose, twisted, and grew shameless. Could it be Elder Suru offering herself? Some laughed crudely, their thoughts unrestrained, their words dripping with vulgar imagination. Though she held the title of elder, Suru was but 20 years of age, young, radiant, and unlike the rigid elders of old. Her temperament was gentle, her presence approachable. And because of that, these outer court disciples dared to speak so boldly in her presence, casting away caution like dust in the wind. Yet Suru did not grow angry. Instead, she smiled. That smile, it was soft, enchanting, almost playful, like a breeze brushing across calm water. Raising her delicate hand, 5 slender fingers extended into the air. Her voice followed, clear and light. 5 Saint Spirit grasses. In that instant, the hall exploded. What? 5 Saint Spirit grasses? Did I hear wrong? 5? Shock crashed through the crowd like a tidal wave. Even the calmest among them could no longer remain composed. Eyes widened, breaths quickened, hearts pounded wildly. Saint Spirit grass. Such a treasure was beyond ordinary comprehension. Even within the Chu family, each person received only 1 per year. And yet here, 5 were being offered as a single reward. To many present, it was not just rare. It was something they had never even seen with their own eyes. And now it lay within reach. The temptation was irresistible. Of course, for the majority, it remained nothing more than a distant dream. They knew their limits. They understood their weakness. But for those who stood at the peak, those who sought first place, their blood boiled. Their eyes burned with determination. Suru observed it all, her gaze sweeping across the sea of eager faces. Satisfaction flickered within her eyes. This was exactly what she wanted. With a simple wave of her hand, the world shifted. Behind her, a thunderous rumble echoed through the hall. The massive gate, towering dozens of feet high, slowly creaked open. Dust fell, stone groaned, darkness revealed itself beyond, and still, the disciples hesitated. They stared, frozen. Then Suru laughed softly, her voice carrying a teasing edge. What are you waiting for? Don't want to pass the exam? That single sentence shattered all restraint. Go on! A roar erupted. Tens of thousands surged forward at once, like wild horses breaking free of their reins, like a flood crashing through a broken dam. The ground trembled beneath their steps as they rushed toward the unknown. Chu Feng did not resist the current. He moved with it. Step by step he advanced, calm, composed, his eyes sharp and observant. And soon he entered the depths of the cave. Darkness swallowed everything. The cave stretched vast and endless, its interior cloaked in shadow. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. Even breathing seemed heavier here, as if danger itself lingered in the air. Everyone understood this was no ordinary path. Traps lurked everywhere. Death could descend at any moment. And yet, go! For the rank 4 martial skill, for the 5 Saint Spirit grasses. Greed drowned fear. Some rushed ahead recklessly, abandoning caution entirely. They charged forward without hesitation, without even glancing back. To them, survival mattered less than opportunity. And then, the cave answered, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh! From the walls ahead a storm erupted. Silver needles burst forth like rain, filling the air with deadly brilliance as they shot toward the charging crowd. Screams tore through the darkness. Those at the front, caught off guard, were struck instantly. More than half collapsed in a single breath, their advance shattered by the sudden assault. Yet even then, no one stopped, no one retreated. They pressed forward madly, because they knew something. These needles would not kill. They were traps, yes, but not fatal ones. For cultivators who had reached the third level of the spirit realm, survival was possible, as long as they remained careful. But carelessness would cost them dearly. As they pushed deeper into the cave, the rain of needles grew denser, harder to predict, harder to evade. And gradually, the crowd began to change. The weak fell behind. The reckless faltered. Those who remained at the front were no longer dreamers chasing luck. They were the strong. Among them, Xianxia, Duan Yuxuan. Their figures cut through the storm with precision. Each movement was controlled, each step deliberate. To them, the deadly mechanisms were nothing more than obstacles in a race. Chu Feng remained behind them. Within the group of third-level spirit realm cultivators, he blended in quietly, never drawing attention. He had his reasons. First, he had no intention of standing out too early. Second, his situation was different. He could not reveal his true strength just yet. So he waited for the perfect moment, a moment where he could surpass everyone unseen. Meanwhile, at the very front, only two figures remained, Duan Yuxuan, Yang Tianyu. Both stood at the fourth level of the spirit realm. One possessed exceptional talent. The other carried deep experience. They were evenly matched, and between them, tension thickened like a drawn blade. Duan Yuxuan, Yang Tianyu sneered, his voice sharp with mockery. You're already so old, yet you can't even outrun a child like me? Isn't that embarrassing? Duan Yuxuan snorted coldly. In the path of martial cultivation, age means nothing. Only strength matters. If you wish to boast, do it after you win. Their gazes clashed, invisible sparks ignited, both knew. Their greatest opponent stood right before them. Victory over the other meant victory over all. And then a wind stirred, a faint breeze drifted from ahead. Both halted instinctively, their eyes narrowed. Before them, a thick fog had emerged. The cave was already suffocatingly dark. Now, with the addition of dense mist, vision dropped even further. The danger multiplied, even for them. This could not be taken lightly, and in that very instant, Chu Feng moved. Now, his eyes flashed, his body surged forward. Whoosh! Like an arrow released from a bow, he shot ahead, his entire figure becoming a blur. In the blink of an eye, he passed them. Duan Yuxuan, focused on dodging the needles, felt a sudden presence streak past him. A shadow. Gone before he could even react. Was that real? Shock rippled through his mind. At first he thought it was Yang Tianyu, but no. Yang Tianyu was still behind him. Confusion flickered, but he had no time to dwell on it, because Chu Feng was already gone. Far ahead, Chu Feng pushed his speed to its limit. Faster, faster still. And yet he felt no exhaustion. Within him, spiritual energy surged endlessly, pouring forth from his dantian like an unceasing river. His strength, his speed, his senses, all far beyond those of others at the same level. Even Duan Yuxuan and Yang Tianyu could not compare. Chu Feng understood this well. 5 years ago, he had already glimpsed this truth. And now, that special power had returned. A quiet confidence rose within him. In his eyes, no one here could call themselves a genius. He ran, like wind tearing through the sky, until finally the traps ceased, the darkness broke, and he stepped into a vast hall. At the far end stood a stone platform. Upon it, treasure, rank 4 martial skill, and 5 Saint Spirit grasses. Even Chu Feng felt his heart stir at the sight, but he did not rush forward. Instead, his gaze shifted, to the side, to the stone doors lining the hall. His lips curled slightly. So, behind those doors, are the fierce beasts? Excitement flickered in his eyes, because he knew this examination had only just begun. Beyond those doors awaited creatures of terror, bloodthirsty, cruel, monsters that knew no mercy, and at that very moment, far below, within a hidden stone chamber, an elder stared at a strange stone formation, his eyes wide with disbelief. Elder Suru, look. I have guarded this place for years, but never have I seen such speed. The stone before him was no ordinary object. It was a mechanism, one that reacted only when traps were triggered. Now, it lay completely disordered, meaning someone had already passed the entire mechanism stage. In the past, the fastest time was 2 hours. Now only 1 hour had passed. The room fell silent, then erupted into shock. Dozens of elders gathered, their expressions filled with astonishment. Suru stepped forward, her gaze resting upon the stone. A smile appeared. It seems this year's outer court has produced an interesting one. Her eyes gleamed. If that's the case, we shouldn't let him pass so easily. A hint of mischief surfaced in her expression. Above the stone, 3 round mechanisms were embedded into the wall. Without hesitation, she struck them. 1, 2, 3. "Stop! Don't touch those!" the elders shouted in alarm, but it was too late. All 3 had already been pressed. Suru's expression shifted. "Aren't these just for releasing fierce beasts?" An elder's face turned pale. "Yes, but they cannot be activated at the same time." Silence. "If all 3 are triggered together, every imprisoned fierce beast will be released at once. 30 rank 2, 9 rank 3, and 1 rank 4. His voice trembled. The weight of his words crushed the room. These were no ordinary creatures. They were savage, monstrous, far stronger than humans of the same level. And now, all of them were about to be unleashed. A massacre was inevitable. Suru's face drained of color. "Why didn't you say that earlier?" Without waiting, her body moved. Like wind, she vanished the moment the stone doors opened. "Elder La, what do we do?" All eyes turned. Elder Lai's expression hardened. "What else can we do? Move! Save them!" With a roar, he rushed out, and the others followed, because within that underground palace, a storm of blood was about to begin. Before the stone doors ever shattered, before blood drenched the ancient hall, there was only a single question echoing in Chu Feng's mind. How many beasts must a man face before he himself becomes the monster? Chu Feng had long heard whispers of the creatures known as fierce beasts. They were no ordinary beasts of claw and fang. They cultivated, they grew stronger, they advanced just like humans. 9 ranks, mirroring the 9 layers of the spirit realm. Yet rumors spoke of something far more terrifying. A rank 3 fierce beast could crush a cultivator of the same level without effort. Some said such beasts could even rival those a full realm above. That was why Chu Feng, despite his confidence, did not dare to act recklessly. He knew this place. The main hall was not merely a trial, it was a trap. A mechanism lay hidden within it. The moment it was triggered, the beasts would be unleashed. He had not even stepped inside yet. Boom, a thunderous crash erupted. The stone doors that imprisoned the fierce beasts began to open. Chu Feng froze. His eyes narrowed. Strange. His voice was low, cautious. "I haven't even entered the main hall, so why would the doors open?" Before the thought could settle, bang, bang, bang! One after another, dozens of stone doors lining the hall burst open at once. 40, all 40 doors opened simultaneously. Chu Feng's pupils shrank. From within the darkness beyond those doors, pairs of eyes ignited, scarlet, cold, hungry. A suffocating wave of killing intent flooded the entire hall like a rising tide of blood. Damn it! His jaw tightened. This isn't a joke, is it? He had heard the rules clearly. In the final round, there would only be 1 fierce beast, but what stood before him now was a nightmare. A tide of shadows surged forward. Wah! The hall erupted. Figures leapt from the darkness, one after another. Filling the space in an instant, Chu Feng saw them clearly. Tiger-like in form, yet each one twice the size of a normal beast. Their bodies were pitch black, their claws gleamed like sharpened blades, their fangs shone like ivory daggers, and their eyes burned red with insatiable hunger. 40 fierce beasts, all of the same kind. Yet when Chu Feng's gaze sharpened, he noticed the markings upon their foreheads. Strange lines, symbols of rank. Just then, one beast let out a low growl. Its gaze shifted toward the distant high platform. At once, all 40 beasts followed. Their eyes locked onto the platform. Drool began to drip from their jaws. Greed, they were staring at the treasures. Chu Feng's expression darkened. Damn robbers! A spark of fury ignited within him. How could he allow these beasts to snatch away what he came for? Without hesitation, he surged forward, rushing straight toward the platform, but the moment he stepped into the hall, the beasts noticed him, every single one. And in an instant, the saint spirit grasses were forgotten. To them, human flesh was far more tempting. Wah! The entire pack turned, 40 beasts, converging, encircling him, attacking. Good! Chu Feng's lips curled slightly, his eyes burned with battle intent. Come! A rank 2 fierce beast lunged forward first. Its jaws opened wide, its claws slashed toward him. Move, Chu Feng struck. A single punch exploded its skull. It didn't even have time to cry out. But the next moment, more beasts closed in. From all sides, their killing intent surged like a storm, enough to freeze the heart of any ordinary cultivator. Yet Chu Feng did not retreat. His body moved like a wild ape. Light, agile, unpredictable, he weaved through the swarm, leaping, dodging, striking, every movement precise, every strike lethal. Each time his fist fell, a beast died. At that moment, who was the true monster? The beasts or him? Chu Feng's body had become a weapon. Every limb sharp as a blade, every motion filled with overwhelming force. The thick hides of the beasts meant nothing. They shattered under his blows. Within him, spiritual energy surged endlessly, and deep within that power was something else. Something he both loved and feared. The 9-colored divine lightning. It roared silently within his body, granting him strength, forging him into something beyond human. Just as the slaughter reached its peak, a sharp, ferocious growl exploded behind him. Chu Feng turned, and his expression shifted. A massive claw descended toward his head. This beast was different, stronger, faster, deadlier. If that strike landed, his skull would be crushed instantly. Whoosh! Chu Feng leapt back, barely avoiding a fatal blow, but not completely. The claw tore across his chest. Ah! 5 deep gashes ripped open, blood splashed outward. Pain surged through him like fire. But within that pain rose fury, his eyes locked onto the beast. 4 lines marked its forehead. Rank 4. If it were anyone else, they would flee without hesitation. Even at equal cultivation, a fierce beast held the advantage. But Chu Feng did not retreat. Instead, he charged like a madman, like someone who no longer feared death. Even the beast hesitated just for a moment, and that moment was enough. Clang! Chu Feng's fist slammed into its head, but instead of blood, a metallic sound rang out, like iron striking steel. His fist ached violently, as if he had struck a wall of bronze. Wah! The beast howled, staggering back. Pain flashed in its eyes. Chu Feng grinned. So, you can feel it. His killing intent surged. Then die. His fists moved, faster, faster, until only after images remained. Like a storm unleashed, blow after blow rained down upon the beast, each strike heavy, relentless, merciless. The massive creature was forced back, step by step. Even the other beasts that tried to ambush him were struck down instantly. None could withstand even a single punch. The hall became a battlefield of carnage. Blood sprayed, bodies fell, heads shattered, until silence. All 40 beasts lay dead, scattered across the hall, their corpses twisted in grotesque forms. Only one remained intact, the rank 4 beast, its body still whole, but its skull had been crushed inward, flattened, destroyed. Hoo, hoo, hoo! Chu Feng stood amidst a sea of blood, breathing heavily. His body was covered in wounds, yet none were fatal. Aside from the rank 4 beast strike, the others had barely harmed him. He looked down at himself. A strange thought surfaced. How strong is this body of mine? Compared to the beasts, he felt unbreakable, as if his tendons were steel, his bones iron, something beyond human, and once again he realized he was different. After a brief glance around, he leapt onto the high platform. Without hesitation, he grabbed the martial skill book and the Saint Spirit grasses, not even sparing them a second look. Then he turned. He did not approach the massive sealed door. Instead, he retraced his steps, returning to the mechanism stage. Shortly after he left, the stone chamber stirred. Figures emerged, a group of elders, and at their front, their expressions were strange, because what they had witnessed was beyond belief. They had seen Chu Feng still striking the corpse of the rank 4 beast, again and again, as if venting something deeper. But that was not what shocked them. What stunned them was this: 40 fierce beasts, all slain by a single youth. Suru's gaze sharpened. She turned slightly. Elder Li, who is that child? Elder Li hesitated. He glanced at the others. They all shook their heads. None knew. Suru's brows furrowed. You don't even know the name of such a disciple? A trace of displeasure surfaced. Elder Li sighed bitterly. There are too many outer court disciples. If he chose to hide his strength, then we. He could only smile helplessly. Suru waved her hand. Enough. Find out his background. And remember, her tone turned firm, if he wishes to remain hidden, do not expose him. Do not let him know we are watching. Elder Li and the others bowed. As you command. None dared show disrespect. Suru stood silently. Her gaze lingered in the direction Chu Feng had left. Deep, thoughtful. Only after a long moment did she turn and step into the stone chamber, lost in contemplation, as if she had just witnessed the birth of something far more terrifying than any fierce beast.